Hello, thank you for joining RasPipKr tutorials. I'm Martin Parker, and in this Python tutorial video I'm going to talk to you about the time module. In my last video I did import the time module, and I did what's called a time.sleep, and I set it for 10 seconds to show you how it can affect your keyboard interrupt if you were to press the Control-C to try and get out of your program, your code. So I'm just going to bring up the script that I'm referring to, make it full screen. So there we go, we're importing the time module, and that's how you would import a module. And there I am forcing it to sleep from when you press enter. When you enter a number, it will then wait 10 seconds, and then it will print out all the numbers up to the number that you entered as the variable num. So rather than it being there, I'm going to cut out the text by pressing Ctrl X just to remove it rather than totally rewriting it, and I'm going to paste it into this line here by pressing Ctrl and V. You can use the menu buttons up here if you wish, but it tells you there you can press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, etc. Or you can just write it out. So rather than waiting 10 seconds, I'm just going to change that to 1 second. I'm going to run this script, and like before, it waited for that time and then it printed out the numbers. But here, this is a way that you can slow down the way it prints, so you can visualize things better. Otherwise, if you do a big number, it's going to print, it's going to go off screen. So at least you get to see the numbers coming out if you time.sleep in between the actual prints in the for loop. So I'm just going to run this, press F5, press enter, and now it's asking for the number. So I'm going to enter 15, so it will print and it will take 15 seconds to finish, and then it will show the text there, the function has finished at the end. So I'm just going to press here. So if I press enter now, it will start away. And there you go, you can see that there's a 1 second gap in between each of these printing of the numbers. In a few seconds it will be finished. There we go. So that function is finished. So I'm going to talk to you a bit more about other functions in the time module. I'm not going to go through all of them because there is quite a few, and if I enter on the line dir time, will give you all the functions that's in the time module, and there we go, there's quite a few of them. So there we go with the sleep function that we've just been talking about, but there is other ones that you may use more often. There is a local time, GM time for that as well. Which one would you probably use? C time, which I'll call now. So I'm just going to type in time because you have to enter the module and then the period, and then you can, well, it's popped up now, but you can if I just press backspace, if I press the dot and then press tab, it will bring up this menu so you can scroll through these, and you can highlight one, press enter on it, and then it will display to screen. Now because this is a function, I have to put the parentheses brackets, and if I press enter now, it will print out the exact time of today being now. As you can see up here, it only shows the hours and the minutes in a 24-hour format and today's date, and it ties up with this, but it doesn't show the seconds. If I want to store a value of the time, I can put time now equals time.c time, and it will store the information just like it is here, but the actual current time, for meaning the C time, current time, from when I press enter. And now if I call my variable back by putting time now, it will show the time. I did well then, I got bang on the the seconds. Awesome. Maybe I should do this for money. But there we go. It has stored the value of this here as the value variable time now. If you want to look at more information on these functions that are built into the time module, you can use the built-in function called help with the parentheses, and then enter the module that you want to know more on, and you can press enter and it will say squeezed text 388 lines. If you double click that with your mouse, it will then print out a screen. Sometimes there can be quite a lot, and that's why I think they brought that into the latest versions of Python. So like I say, the time module, you can do the time.sleep, but there is a way that you can find out how many seconds has been used since the January the 1st 1970, and it's called the epoch time. And if I scroll down, I'll get to the functions bit. Here we go. These are functions that you can actually call, and you can get better information. So if I do the time.clock, it will give you the well, I'll show you that in a minute. The time.current time, which is what I've done and I stored as a variable. If I keep going down, there's the GM time, so it will split it up, so you've got your time underscore year, month, day, month, day, and then you've got your hour, minute, seconds, week, day. Is that year date? It might be down to your time code, something like that. I'm not sure on that, them two bits, but there you go. We'll try it and we'll see if we can figure out what it's saying. So you've got your local time, so you can do it that way, which is a similar sort of thing. And then you've got your other ones, and then there is the sleep, which we called in that tutorial.py program, like we did there. Go back to that window, and then this one is very useful, the string format time. Basically you can set how you want your time to look, and I'll show you that as well. So let's keep scrolling down. So there's more functions. Have a good look through them by just basically doing the help function. And if I click down here and if I put the time and call the function, there is the seconds from the 1st of January 1970. So there's definitely millions there, as you'd expect. Time.sleep we have covered, but I'll just sleep for 3 seconds and you'll see that I get my there you go, my cursor back. The time.c time we already have done, and we've set a variable, but I'll just show, whoops, did I misspell? Oh dear. So there we go. I didn't get it on the bang on the seconds this time. What a loser. So there we go, there's the current time and everything's fine as you'd expect. It was time.gm time. So let's see how that has returned. I think that's the day of the year, as in how many days this year has passed, and I'm not sure on the ISDST. Not sure on that. Yeah. If you know that, please comment in the section below of the video. And also there was a time.local time. It's good to get feedback anyhow, so you tell me what the ISDST stands for. And now we've got the the same figure here, but we have a different number here. So I wonder if that's something to do with, it could be summertime. Is summertime or something like that. Oh well, if you do know, please leave that comment, and then I'm learning something as well as others. I think that's all the functions that I was going to mention, but like I said earlier, I stored a variable of time underscore now, and if I call that, you'll see that it did store that time, date, etc. And that is a way that you can get the time information. Otherwise the other one, wasn't there? String formatting time. Now say you want to actually, rather than having your time being like it is here, you can have the you can set it, rather than having the colons, let's go for I'll call it my time equals time module, and then you have to put the dot and then call the string format time function, and then in the brackets, the parentheses, you need to enter as a string because you're using a string format, and that's what the strf represents. And how we want to have it out is by, like it did explain in the help, you use the percentage and then the hour. So I'm going to put a capital H, so it will be 24 hour, and rather than having the colon, I'm going to go with an equals, just to be different. And then I'm going to call the, I want it to have the percent and then the minutes, and this time I'm going to have an underscore, and then I will have the seconds, and there we go. That is my time I want it to represent and show as. So you can set your variable and call this as and whenever you're in your script, and you will get the current time, but it will be in the way that you set it out in this string formatting time. So it can be pretty cool having your own format, rather than having the standard colon versions. So if I call my function, my variable, my time, you'll see now it's showing the hours in 24-hour format, minutes and the seconds, and I've got equals and an underscore in there. So you can do your code, make things your own way. If you want something to look completely different, you know, you can use that. So that's pretty much for basic usage of the time module. If you do know what the ISDST stands for, if it's not anything to do with summertime or something like that, then please do leave a comment. If you like the video, please like, share, and if you can, subscribe. That would be fantastic. And I'll catch you in the next one.